12-year-old Rahaf suffers from cerebral palsy, a condition which inhibits her brain's growth. The room is dark because there isn't much electricity in eastern Ghouta. This is what she looked like before the siege and before she ran out of medicine. Her mother used to give her honey, milk and other nutritious food, but not anymore.
Rahaf used to be well and was going to school until there was a lack of food and medicine. My husband can't work, and because of the high prices, we can't afford much.
That's been the case for the last 4 years after Syrian government forces besieged the area, which is home to 400,000 people. This is the most popular dish these days: boiled corn, or for larger families, a corn broth with the luxury of salt for those who can afford it. The Assad government has allowed in some aid, but the UN says that is only enough for around 10% of the besieged people. This year, the Syrian regime approved around a quarter of United Nations requests to deliver assistance. The UN says the plight of civilians is an outrage and that it might constitute a war crime. The lack of food and medicine have forced more people towards hospitals. In July, doctors identified 452 patients who still need to be evacuated. As the United Nations await approvals from the Assad government, 9 of them have died. Faced with delays, 29 among them were identified. These are people who have a 100% chance of survival, but if they're not given care soon, they will die. The situation is so desperate that after operations, doctors need to reuse the single-use items on this table. What's regarded as medical waste everywhere else is sterilized and used again in besieged Douma. These tubes might be useful in saving another life. The latex gloves which hospitals throw away are limited here, so they're washed before they can be reused. Then they need to be laid out to dry. Because they don't know if and when more supplies will come in, they use powder to make sure the gloves don't stick together. The staff say they're also saving other single-use medical supplies.
We clean them because the supplies aren't available here and they're not coming in with UN aid. We also stop some surgeries because of a lack of anesthetics.
Parents say there's no food or medicine for their starving and sick children. So they leave their infants to suck on their thumbs, hoping that at least for a while they'll think it's food. Osama bin Javaid, Al Jazeera, Gaziantep.